Welcome everyone to our webinar today, continuing the help desk series on talking about the Canadian IT help desk program that we run on Office 365, and it does work in on-premise as well. So just want to make sure that's clear. But this is part of an ongoing series. We started out talking about some different things, how to intake tickets, how to process tickets, and then we showed some ability on the mobile device last week. So this is a continuation of that series where now we're going to talk about the knowledge base piece. So again, welcome. My name is James Restivo. I work for Canadian Software. I've been here about 10 years. Helped develop this IT help desk software and made some improvements to it as we go along over the years. Of course, things shift as the years go on, and move from on-prem to Office 365, from more of a desktop focus to a more of a mobile focus, et cetera, et cetera. So that IT help desk has been brought along for that ride, and today I wanted to kind of focus in on the aspects of the help desk that are related to the knowledge base. So with the knowledge base piece of it, it's really important to have a good knowledge base for your users to self-serve. So the idea behind the ticketing system is to make it easier for your folks to track issues that have been reported, for your staff to track them, and for your end users to track what they've submitted, of course. That's part of what the portal is all about that I'm showing on my screen right now. Part of the intake process is through here. They can also email in if they want to. But you want to try to get them to self-serve ahead of time, right? So that's kind of the big goal I think a lot of organizations have, is how do we get information to our end users as quickly as possible without having to take up someone's time on a phone call or answering an email. All very valid things that you want to do, save your time, use more time for other priorities, other initiatives. Part of that is the knowledge base. So what we're going to walk through today is how the knowledge base is used in our tool, how you can make it more apparent to your users, or at least have it presented to your users in a way that makes sense. There's a few different options I'll show you. So I'm going to walk through a couple ways that they can look at knowledge base articles on the portal. I think I'll pop open the NITRO bot that we have so you can see how it looks with the NITRO bot with searching for knowledge base articles. But a part of it is building that knowledge base to begin with. And I'll show you some ways that our system can help you build that if you don't already have a set of articles that you want to import or put into this system. You can create knowledge base articles from tickets as well. So we'll show that to you. So what I want to show you first is what we built into our system is a way that users can actually get, or at least be aware that there's knowledge base articles available to them, even if they go to the submit new ticket link directly, right? So a lot of times people get used to going, what's the quickest way for me to get the answer to my questions, picking up the phone, submitting a ticket, whatever that might be. But what I want to show you here is that we have a thing that pops up here. I should check what articles I have in the, let me just check real quick what articles we have in categorized. So if you do something, all right, so we can look into the article here, but what I want to show you on the base, okay, so if you look at category and issue type, all right, so let's go back to our submit new ticket. And one thing you'll notice if I do email, and where is it? Which one was it? It was this one, I think. One of these. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So the category and issue type come up, and you see that pops open a link right here. And that link is going to be to that knowledge base article we were just looking at. And that's going to pop that open, and so they can go and take a look at it. So, you can make that field maybe more apparent, but some bolding around it, highlight it a little more. But I wanted to show you that we can actually pull up the knowledge base article and make that visible to the user within the ticket itself before they even get to the submit new ticket part. We can even put some text here like check these articles that are related to your issue, or these might be related to your question. Whatever you want, you can put some text in here and then have this populate over here on the right-hand side based on the category and issue type. So when we talked about intaking tickets, we talked about there's categories and issue types where you can categorize what the issues are about. You can do that after the fact, you can do that up front. In this scenario with the knowledge base, you kind of want your users to select the category and issue type, and then they'll be presented with options for the knowledge base. So that gives them a way to see that there are articles out there. They may be helpful. Even if they're not, they're already halfway through the ticket creation process. So they can then go ahead and continue with that if they wanted to do that, but at least gives them an option to see, oh, look, I might be able to get help without having to contact someone and wait for a response. So of course, this is reliant a little bit on categorizing your knowledge base articles, which is fairly straightforward. You just put in a category of what it's about, the issue, corresponding issue type to what it's about, and that can drive what shows up on the field here. Now, when we go directly to the search option, they can select the knowledge base link up here at the top, and they can see the articles that are available to them. They can browse them by category. They can look at the ones that are there. This is not a very well built out one, but it is a start to a knowledge base and kind of gets you, going with it. But if you wanted to pull up an issue, you can just type in a search term at the top, and you'll get a list of results of what it's related to, right? So we do email, get that email one we just came up with. So you either browse it, you can search it. So there's an option right here, so they can search through those knowledge base articles, and it'll search the content of the article and also the title of the article, also the category. I think receive was in there. Let me see if that pulls it up. No, nothing we said. That's okay. So it's going to pull it up based on the content of that knowledge base. All right, so we got the search option here. So this is, of course, if the user is coming through the portal. Of course, if you have your users emailing in, there's really not much we can do there in the sense of presenting them information before they send that email. That would kind of be on you to give them those, or let those people know where those resources are. But another way we can manage this is if you are looking at the Teams options. Let me go to Teams. And built into the NITRO bot that we have, which you can get with this help desk, you have the knowledge base search option. So if I go to the bot, again, we're going to be potentially renaming this to NITRO Engage, but it's still NITRO bot for now. You will be able to search, and it usually takes a minute to get going when I run this. I didn't get this going right ahead of this. It's been a busy morning, but if we just type in a search term, printer, I think it can be configured to search the knowledge base directly. So they might come in here, ask their question, ask their problem. Well, okay, it's not coming up right there, but we can configure it to search the knowledge base immediately. But if they don't do that, they can go to their particular, they can go to the search KB articles, and that can also bring up those articles. So normally what you'd want to do is have this search that knowledge base automatically, which can be done through the NITRO bot settings. You can just say the default option, the default action for the bot is that it's going to pull up knowledge base articles. So it gives the users a way to get in there, see if they can solve their issue on their own, and then if it doesn't, of course, they can submit a ticket. If they say the problem is resolved, this is kind of the nice thing about the bot is that it will go and create a ticket for you. And part of that reason is that it's going to record that the issue was, that there was an issue and it was resolved. And we're getting it twice because we're logged in as both the assignee and the requester. But anyway, so that is how that works through the bot, but it gives you a way to track those issues that were resolved through the bot, and then you can also track issues that were resolved not through the bot. But that can also help you, of course, in the long run, as you look through how were tickets submitted, did they get resolved through the bot, where are your holes, where are the gaps in your knowledge base for your users? So using metrics in that way, you can kind of see where people are needing help most and where they're not getting it automatically. And so if you can create and craft those knowledge base articles to attend to those specific questions, then you're going to be, that's going to help you build it out. And so that it's kind of an iterative process when you're building out a knowledge base. It really is. You're not going to have it fully fleshed out from day one. You may in your organization have it fully fleshed out, and that's great. A lot of organizations don't. And that's where you can build it up as you go. So using metrics from here, from what's been submitted through the bot, what's been submitted through the tickets list, you can see, okay, I see that we're missing information over here on how to, well, something as simple as change toner in a printer. Oh, we must not be posting the instructions up for that specifically. So let's go ahead and post instructions up for that task, and then you can get it done. Right. So you can use those, kind of see that as it goes along. So then you can, when you're in the ticket itself, so how you build this up as you go along, and let's say you do have tickets coming in that are, a lot of tickets about a particular issue or something, and you resolve that issue, but you want to retain that information for future usage, which happens a lot. Like, hey, let's remember how we did that. There can be a lot of great information in these closed tickets and these resolved tickets as how was this resolved in the past? Let's find out. But you can not only search the tickets, that's very possible and very capable, but that doesn't give your end users access to that information. It just gives your team access to that information, which is fine. That may be where it's appropriate and where you want it. But you may also want to make it available for your end users, and also maybe put it in a knowledge base for your team as well. So on each of these tickets here in our system, you have this knowledge base tab, and part of the knowledge base tab is you have this create KB article option. And so when you go into the edit form and click that as yes, it's going to create, once this item is closed, once this ticket is closed out, it will actually go and create a knowledge base article over in the KB list. So that's one way to do it, is take your issues that are open, that are, what the resolution is. It's going to map over the information as far as the description. It's going to map over the category and issue type. It's going to map over the resolution notes. So if you have a resolution in here and these resolution notes, that's all going to map over to that knowledge base article. And just kind of show you what the knowledge base article has in it, and you can see all those connections. Here's your category and issue type. Here's your content, which can be a lot more robust than what we're showing here. But you can also have, it'll pull over that resolution notes and information that you want, which we can make visible as well, which I think are visible on the back-end page. Pardon me for clicking around a little bit. But open this up. You see that there's a portal version of this same article. And actually, let me pull up the one that we were just looking at. I think it's this one. And you see you can see there's some other fields on here. We got the resolution notes. We can take that information and put it into the wiki content. We can make that visible on the portal over here if you so desire. That's perfectly fine. So it gives you, a way to capture that information on a ticket by ticket basis, so that when your ticket is completed, it's going to go and create that knowledge base article. Now you may not need to go in and fluff it up and make it a little nicer, format it differently. That's just part of the process. You at least get the record in place that says we have a knowledge base article about this. Maybe we need to go and add more to it, but at least it's there, and you can start working on it and making it better. So that's another way, rather than directly creating the knowledge base articles, you can do it from the ticket aspect and say, these issues, I know I have 5 tickets that came in about this issue. Let's just make one into a knowledge base, and then we can build it up from there. So you do have a lot of control over that. Of course, you want to go in and edit those KB articles and spruce them up, and you can do that. Now, the other aspect here is, I mentioned that there's the possibility of having those KB articles for your end users and for your staff. In some cases, you want to have your staff knowledge base articles separate from your end user knowledge base articles. We can actually do that with this target audience feature. And if I look back at the list, this one here, you see that we have this target audience. And if I hit edit, you'll see that we have it set to internal staff or external. External meaning your end users. It's basically visible to everyone, including your internal staff. But if you select internal staff, what we can do, and it may not be configured out of the box, but it's very easy to set up a workflow that will set the permissions on this item to be just visible to your help desk staff. So just going to real briefly kind of jump out of the knowledge base and go into the workflows and show you how you can configure and especially for people who may have purchase our program, or you're interested in purchasing our program, you might want to get this set up. This is also something we can help you get set up as we go through the setup process for you, is setting up this workflow to manage permissions on this list. And this also kind of ties into I think our next topic we're going to talk about in the next session about workflows and how NITRO drives the system, and so you can see kind of how this whole NITRO Studio tool set is really valuable, as a baseline for this tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to workflows and show you. We may actually have this out of the box, but if it's not configured out of the box, at least we can try to get it there. All right, so I'm going to filter on list name and see if we have anything on knowledge base list, and we don't. That's okay. We can create a new one. So we create a new workflow. We'll do it on the knowledge base list, which is in this list of options here. We'll do it as a designer workflow, and we're going to do it when an item is modified, and that way we can set that target audience down the road. So initially, you can set your target audience to be internal staff, and then won't be visible to everyone, and then later on you can set it for external staff. So within the workflow designer, we have this manage permissions option, which I'll just pop on there. And this allows you to set permissions. And this will do it on an item by item basis. So you can see there's set permissions for internal staff. I probably did this already somewhere, but so you're gonna run it for the current item, that's fine. And then each of these options, it's actually fairly straightforward. We can, we try to, as descriptively as possible, tell you exactly what each one of these options is going to do. So if we grant user permissions, you can see it's going to create unique permissions. We can copy their permissions from the parent, and then we can give access to additional users. We could also do the opposite of remove user permissions. So it's a very simple workflow. Just decide which one. You can actually have multiple permission, grant, or you can remove first and then grant. You may not have to do that. You have to look at what the text says to do, but that gives you a way to set your permissions for internal staff. You can see it's fairly just one action workflow on item modified, simple to set up if you don't have it set up already. But that's as far as I want to go with that. Just wanted to show you that real quick. One thing I forgot to mention for anyone, there is a questions box in the GoToWebinar panel. If you have any questions at any point in time, comments or anything, feel free to pop a question in there and I'll take a look at it and try to get it answered on the webinar today. But yeah, so that will set the permissions on your knowledge base article so that when the person comes in, the end user comes in here and searches the knowledge base, they're only going to see articles that they have access to. They're not going to see the ones that are permissioned for the internal staff only. They're only going to see the ones that are for external staff, which would be visible to everyone. So it gives you a way to control what they see, what they don't see, because a lot of times you might have things, you might have things that are set up to, for your internal staff only. There are specifics like on how to do a specific thing on, how to reconfigure a server. Well, end users don't need to know how to do that. Maybe they want to learn, but they don't need it as part of their job necessarily. So that is something that you can set up. But yeah, that's basically knowledge base in a nutshell. It's again, it's an iterative process to build it out. It's something that you just have to see. If you probably already know what issues are coming up as hot topics, you can create those knowledge base articles to address it. And we did a lot of that internally, where we built out our whole like crowcanyon.help site, which is an FAQ site similar to this, where you can search for an issue that you have with any of the Crowcanyon programs or NITRO Studio itself and get answers to your questions. And if we don't have an answer there, you can always submit a ticket in, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, the kind of same thing as what you would be doing with your staff. So we're very familiar with that process. But yeah, so that pretty much covers the knowledge base piece of it, with being able to create those articles. We did have a question come in. It's kind of jumping back to a previous processing question we had in a previous webinar, which is fine. And this is all part of a series. So if you have a question about topics from a previous workshop or webinar, feel free to pop those in there. I appreciate that. And I'll definitely answer them. But we do have a question that came in about routing tickets to team members. And so this is something that we do with our tool, where you can go to our, within this categorization section of the application admin, you could route tickets in a couple different ways, where you could route them to assigned team members or category owners, and then or assign teams, which would be SharePoint groups. And this is based on category and issue type, where you can direct where basically direct the traffic on where it goes. And so with issue type, you also have the option of assigning it to multiple assigned staff. And if you want to enable the round robin option, you can go to your issue type and set this to round robin, enable round robin assignment. What does that mean? Well, it means that Pavan will get the first ticket of this issue type, and then admin account, well, I guess put my name in there. I'll get the next ticket of that issue type. So it's going to go in order. And of course, if you have that unchecked, you're going to get the tickets assigned to both at the same time, which might be fine as well. And then they can decide amongst themselves who's actually going to take it and be the main assigned staff for it. But the round robin assignment can be done that way on an issue type by issue type basis. But there's also an option in here to have a global round robin assignment, because a lot of times you have your tickets coming in, maybe they're not categorized correctly. We do have where is it? I know it's auto assignment. I think it's this one, where you have your, essentially the same idea. You can have your global round robin assignment, and this is basically your list of round robin staff on who gets tickets. And actually what it will do is count the tickets assigned that are open, of course, to each individual, and whoever has the least amount of open tickets will get assigned the new ticket. So that can be done in a way that helps you balance out the staff and balance out who is having to address these tickets. So, but hopefully the people who come in and are looking at the knowledge base can get their answer to that question before they even submit a ticket. So hopefully that will get your users to a point where they can self-serve a little more and don't have to rely on picking up the phone or sending an email. They can go and search that knowledge base and get the answer to the question that they're looking for. And hopefully that will give them a little more power to serve themselves, get the answer quicker. They're not sitting there frustrated, like, where is the information? When is the IT going to get back to me? What's going on here? Sending multiple emails, like, of course, every issue is a high priority issue for everyone, right? So, they're the only ones submitting tickets. So they're going to keep hammering you. But if they give them a way to kind of self-serve, it gives it a much better service for your customers. And gives you probably a little more load off your backs as far as addressing these things. But anyway, great. So that's what I wanted to cover today. Hope everyone got something out of it, and we'll be touching base again next week to continue this series. And I appreciate everyone coming on and joining me today. Thank you so much. If you have any questions that we didn't get to, or if you have anything that you wanted to address outside of this, we're always open to having emails come our way. Send it in, give us a call. We're happy to chat. So appreciate it. And I hope everyone has an excellent rest of your day. All right, take care.